Good afternoon. We want to give you an immediate update from the Command and Control meeting we just completed. As of this time, we have 52 counties you can see on the screen in the pink color that exists there. Those 52 counties are areas where we have snow and ice freezing conditions on the roadways and bridges, not only the elevated roadways there in those 52 counties, but also interstates, icing conditions. Severe travel conditions exist in those 52 areas. The two counties you see in blue in the metro area are areas that we have issued warnings for drivers if you do not have to be on those roads, particularly on the roads in those 52 counties that have been designated as difficult for passage of automobiles and truck traffic to stay off of those roads unless absolutely necessary. We have 80 school closings, as we have just confirmed. That would be in 58 counties that have one or more schools that have been closed. Earlier this morning, approximately 5:30, we were reporting some 10,000 outages of power. Those now are down to 2,752. So the power crews have done a remarkable job. Worst of those conditions exist in Jefferson County with 1,300 power outages there. We have, with the Department of Human Services, shelters in a number of those counties in which particularly the power outages are severe. We have no participation yet in the shelters. We have 5 warming centers in counties that we hope might be utilized and are being utilized now by people who are particularly in the northern part of the state where severe conditions continue to exist. It is often difficult for us in the metro area as we see some limited effect of this winter storm to be reminded that 58 counties are being affected and conditions still exist that would cause an emergency at any time. Our concern at this point is anyone who may be leaving work this afternoon in and around the drive time area around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, be particularly careful. The threatening conditions that we have seen in other states in the past are caused by rush hour traffic. If an accident occurs, then other automobiles are trapped behind that accident. Occupants of those automobiles are unable to leave the automobile, and threatening conditions then exist. So we have been on the phone this morning to area coordinators, making sure that if we can, to notify people within the affected area, particularly in DeSoto County, as we just had a discussion with the DeSoto County area coordinator, to make sure that the general public is aware that dangerous conditions will exist, particularly in rush hour traffic. We feel certain that the preparation that has taken place the last couple of weeks has been very beneficial. MDOT has done a remarkable job. These winter weather events have taken place for the last 3 weeks, and as they do, MDOT is there making sure that the roadways are protected, and they are doing so today. I was on the Pearl Street Bridge in downtown Jackson about an hour ago. Ice did exist there on the bridge. It would be very difficult and threatening for anyone to try to drive across that bridge. As you know, we have closed state offices for the remainder of the day. We have, the Department of Human Services has responded to over 100 different calls. Fortunately, we have had no fatalities verified at this time. I believe we've had roughly 125 calls that the Department of Public Safety, along with support from the Department of Transportation, have responded to. Fortunately, those accidents have all been controllable, and no lives have been lost at that time. Conditions for tomorrow, I'll call Robert Latham to talk about those, but we see the temperatures remaining around freezing in the metro area. Fortunately, the winds tonight will be active to help dry the roadways as lower temperatures into the teens will exist in the Jackson area. We hope that the wind throughout the day will help dry the moisture from those roadways and not result in any additional ice accumulation throughout the night. Tomorrow should see a warming trend and into Saturday, so we believe the worst of this event is behind us. I'll now turn to Robert Latham, Director of Mississippi's Emergency Management, to talk a little bit more about preparedness. Robert.
Thank you, Governor. First, let me say, I think that nobody more than us is more weary of this winter weather that doesn't seem to want to go away. But as I told many of you the other day, my fear is that the winter weariness and could lead to complacency, which leads to mistakes, which leads to people dying. And we are constantly thinking of ways ahead of what people may do or need to know to make good, conscious, informed decisions about what their preparations should be. And obviously, as the governor said, I think these preparations have paid off. So far, we have not had any fatalities. There is a report of one wreck, I think, in South Hinds County that we're still trying to confirm that, we're not sure, don't have the details on. But the message is that if we get through today, even when the precipitation stops, the temperatures are going to remain below freezing and overnight, very cold, so what moisture is left on the roads will refreeze. If it's not already frozen, you're going to have patches of black ice. Travel in the morning should certainly be better, but people just need to understand that those slick spots on the elevated surfaces and the bridges could cause you to lose control of your vehicle, cause another accident, another vehicle, people get hurt and people die. So I think given the fact that the power outages have been reduced significantly today, as the governor mentioned, the numbers during this event was much lower than they were last event where we had about 32,000 outages. I think we can probably say a lot of that has to do with the fact that we didn't have a lot of snow waiting on the trees that brought the lines down, had a lot more ice. But the power companies have done a tremendous job. We've learned a lot since Ice Storm of '94. A lot of the right-of-ways for the power lines and stuff have been cleared, so we don't have the threat that we used to have. Nonetheless, it's important, I think, to remember that, and I reemphasize time and time again, that the elderly, the homebound, the medically fragile are the ones that I worry about the most in events like this, because I'll just give you a good example. The last system we had last week, we received a call here at the EOC after a press conference we did about concern about people that were elderly, fragile, homebound, and an elderly person had lost her power. She was freezing to death, she said. We were able to walk over to the energy desk, and in about an hour we had power restored back to her home. Those are the success stories that you never hear about, but that's a potential life that was saved. So it's important to understand that what we do here is try to make sure we can help our local governments, our local officials, not only prepare the public, but be prepared to respond and mitigate the effects of these disasters. And, we've got a great team here, some of which are up here. The governor, all hours of the night and early mornings, we're on the phone constantly talking and briefing, trying to make decisions about the best course of action. So I just ask the public to be prudent, don't get complacent. It's not over yet. I think we're on the backside of it. It's going to get better as we move forward, but by Saturday we should have temperatures in the 60s. So hopefully it'll be gone by then. But I appreciate y'all's support and getting the message out to the general public. Just don't get complacent. So.
The operational personnel gathering situational conditions throughout the state. We have no unmet needs at this time. I do want to stress that this seems to be a non-event. But it appears that way because of the men and women that are on the ground doing their job, that were up all night last night, that have been with MDOT, Department of Public Safety, that each sheriff, local shelters that have been open, the response to this has been phenomenal, and that's why you see, I think, no loss of life and no real damage, because of we've been able to control the message that this remains to be a dangerous condition. And unlike Atlanta last year, and we've been able to, with your help, get the information to the general public, and if they do not have to drive, we continue to ask them not to.